Hi, Charlie Kosorek, Jack Bench Woodworking, and Andy Klein and I are still working on our fast travel vise design, and we are on the third prototype. We're getting very close to something that I think we'll be able to have manufactured and out to market so people can actually get to use this thing. And today I want to show you how I made these parts. These are parts. I'm making some of the parts for the prototype here in my shop, and Andy's doing some of it with his shop in Denver. We're kind of splitting up the work, and these two parts were on my end of the to-do list. And so I'm going to show you how I made these, and then stick around to the end of the video, and I'll talk a little bit more about what the previous design was and what part this is replacing, why we came up with these. And so if you want more detailed information, like I said, stick around to the end, and right now I'll show you how I did it. So the first thing I had to do was to cut the raw stock down to size. I had, for raw stock, I had 1 inch by 3 inch rectangular tubing, and then I had some 1.5 inch channel iron. So the next thing to do after I had the pieces cut to length was to mark where the holes had to be drilled. And Andy and I need a fair amount of precision on these particular parts for the vise. So I took a little extra time with the layout to make sure I had everything right. I also took some time to check the setup on my drill press. I had to drill several 1/2 inch holes, a couple of 1/4 inch holes, and 2 5/8 inch holes through the parts. And it was going really well. I was feeling pretty good about it until I got to the first 5/8 inch hole, because I had taken a couple of shortcuts. The first one was that I didn't clamp the vise down to the table. The other shortcut was that I didn't drill incrementally larger holes. I just plowed away with that big 5/8 inch drill bit. Well, that didn't work. Shit. Of course I know better, but I ended up ruining the piece and had to throw it away and make another one. Once I finished drilling the holes and in the new part, then I had to cut an angle across the side of the rectangular piece. As it turns out, it was pretty hard to see the scribe line on that metal for cutting, so I took just happened to have some white out, and I put that across there just to make it easier to see where I had to cut. I took a minute to spin my bench around just so I could get a better camera angle, actually. I don't hear much about reciprocating saws anymore, but this thing just did an amazing job for what I needed here today. And the final part of the project was deburring, lots of deburring, and cleanup. So here are the completed parts. I think they turned out pretty darn good. I'm happy with the results. But let me explain to you now a little bit about what these parts are and how they work and why we are going to this design. Okay, so this is the SketchUp file of the previous iteration of the vise design. And if you don't remember or didn't see that, the way this vise operates is that we have a fast travel screw on this side, very fast, like 4 times faster than a regular vise. And we have a cam on this side. And you adjust the vise by operating the wheel here. And it operates very quickly, and a lot of times that will provide enough pressure in the vise jaws to secure your work. And in the case where that isn't enough, you can hit this cam and just slap that cam lever, and it locks the entire jaw in just rock solid. It works really well. And these two pieces, the shaft with the cam on it and the screw with the hand wheel, are locked together with this plate across the back. So Andy and I wanted to add some functionality to this. We wanted the vise to be adjustable. So instead of having a fixed plate across here, we wanted people to be able to adjust the size to suit whatever they need, from maybe a 14-inch wide up to maybe a 22-inch wide. So here is, this is the revised design. We simplified it quite a bit, but to the point of trying to add that functionality, we replaced the plate that goes across the back that connects the screw and the shaft for the cam together. We replaced that with these two parts here, the ones that I just made in the video. And so they have these holes across here that are indexed, and you can adjust the size of the vise just by changing these two bolts. So I hope that those screenshots and that explanation helped you to understand how the vise works and what these parts are for. And like I said, so we can bolt them together, line up the holes, and you can adjust the width of the vise to suit, you know, your bench or your needs, whatever you want. So I think that's a big improvement from where we were with the previous iteration on this. So I'm going to take these, I'm going to put them in a box, I'm going to send them off to Andy in Denver so he can get going on his part of the project. And speaking of Andy, Andy has corresponding videos that explain this, and maybe better than I did. So I'd encourage you to check them out. Have a link on here, or I'll certainly have a link in the description to Andy's videos. So, thanks for watching.